Last time on Dice Funk. So this arc, the structure is basically you all doing this relatively normal D&D activity of going through difficult, dangerous terrain, while in the back of your mind there's this creeping knowledge that you've left Nobi behind to do whatever he wants in Grendel, and also that Mold is up to something as well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, Slime comes across some body parts. Who knows they broke off from other ones, and he just does a quick puke, and all of the body parts kind of like form together. Like these are people body parts, but they go into the form of a horse.
Could you maybe not use the word son? I don't know what word. Maybe not that one.
Offspring.
Brood.
Would you say this bears any resemblance to a centipede who loves feet? If you...
Oh my god.
I would say
god.
I would say that a big blue boy, and yeah, he's got loads of legs, like he's a centipede.
Do they got familiar, like, bonds at all?
Do they have, like...
Familial bonds?
Does he have, like, a cousin? Is that what you're saying?
Does he have, like, a mom or dad we should be worried about?
I don't know if you can tell that from looking at him.
It just becomes, like, a big jerky.
Okay, you make centipede jerky.
Do these mothers have to kill their children?
Someone brought a bunch of scrolls to cast Fireball to melt snow that was in their way and to be able to keep their party warm. And then they were probably eaten by a Remaraze up somewhere on the mountain, and their cart was left behind, and one of the ropes got caught in its wheels, and you just dragged it off the edge of the cliff. It hits the ground, and 20 fireball spells activate at the same time and blow the cliff face all apart and trigger an avalanche.
Double botch will fucking do that to you.
We should invite Marion just for 1 minute, just for her to say something really terrifying and disgusting, and then let her leave. And then
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like when she does that. It's like my Call of Cthulhu podcast is suddenly merged into the D&D podcast. It's like, but worse. She comes up with worse things than I could possibly imagine.
It's like that scene in The Shining where they walk by the room and that guy in an animal mask is giving another guy a blowjob and it never gets brought up again and never ties into anything. That's how I feel in this podcast, where I'm like, haha, isn't it funny how we're all little creatures having little creature adventures? And then I look out of the corner of my eye, see Mari doing something depraved, and I just keep going.
Yeah. You're just riding around on your little tricycle, trying to survive.
I hope that's how everyone pictures me doing this podcast. Is I'm tricycling.
It's certainly how I picture you. Yeah, with like the D&D 5e like official guidebook, kind of open across the handlebars.
All of you are in the playpen from Rugrats, and I'm just pedaling around the outside, reading from the book.
Yeah.
We should tell the folks what we're doing here today, because I bet this was a confusing intro. Where are all my other favorite players? Where'd they go?
I killed them too.
Yeah. Wow, that would be a twist if you start doing player-on-player violence. Oh, wow, fuck. I bet some other podcast has done that already, where like the narrative leaks into the meta.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if they've already done Jumanji and like the player goes into the D&D game, then it's like the next logical step.
Yeah, once you've done Jumanji, everything else is kind of dumb. They say Jumanji is the final form of fiction.
Yeah, there are two stories to tell, Jumanji and Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and after that, it's it's all derivative of those two. Either you go into the story, or it comes out and kills you.
That's what Joseph Campbell said. There's two kinds of stories. You go into the story, or the story goes into you.
Nothing's better for the inside of a man than the outside of a story, I think is
what Mike Hunt said, yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope people remember that tweet and don't think you just said some weird shit. So, yep, after 3 minutes of non sequiturs, let's say that you and I are recording The Village.
Oh, yeah, we could say that.
Yeah, we can. If I wanted to, I could say that. We're going to record some scenes about what happens in the village while the main party is climbing Mount Grendel, because who knows how this is going to go. We could just do normal sessions. I mean, partially there's just recording scheduling reasons. Laura is unavailable today. But also, I don't know how bad this is going to break. Mold.
Yeah. I'm also really curious to see. Yeah.
Famously, Slime botched on convincing Mold not to be a villain, and then I gave her another shot at it, and Mold crit on the charisma saving throw, and then beat the saving throw on dominate person. So the dice have really come down on the side of Mold being an antagonist, and now Mold and Nobi are hooking up. I try not to say definitive things like this, but it feels like Nobi and Mold are definitely the rogues gallery for the Moist Watch as we go into the last arc.
Right. And then on top of the dice, there was also exactly like you said, Mari just writes Mold for you. Her reaction to the murders was just so Mold might actually be really fucked up.
Yeah. So that's basically where we are. The Moist Watch is going to climb Mount Grendel, finally put the mystery of Voya to bed, as will come back into the town as at the end of winter, essentially, setting up this final confrontation between our heroes and their villains, Mold and Nobi. So last we left the specifics off, Mold came out of the forest with the Baku, our little tapir friend, and approached Nobi and offered to let Nobi use all the good neighbors filled with slime mold. And you said you were interested.
Yeah. Can you remind me which good neighbors Mold got?
Yep, there were the unbroken ones. So if we look at, I have the list of NPCs here. Marina's is still alive. Mm-hmm. Potter's is not. Potter disassembled his own. Hales is still alive. Venta's is not. Venta's was broken. Vary's still alive, so we're up to 3. Gigi's is dead, destroyed, I guess, not dead. Shoko's was destroyed. Ruth's was destroyed. Someone Stars was buried, I think, or you tied it up in the cemetery. But let's say it was broken. And Applewhite's is still functional, and then Ozay's is still functional. I think Slime and Neelis. Slime and Neelis were broken.
Okay, gotcha.
So there are 5 good neighbor sentinels who are basically, Nobi's Gestapo.
Fantastic. Everyone loves to have a Gestapo. That's the best thing.
Everyone loves the Gestapo. It's not really the clippable.
That's my new sitcom.
It's not really what you want out there. I mean, that's not far from Heil, Honey, I'm Home, the Hitler sitcom.
I pitched HBO, let's make a TV show of Jojo Rabbit, and now I'm making Everyone Loves the Gestapo.
Oh, dear.
I was going to say, I've been having thoughts about, Cat wanting to talk to Mold. That to be clear, entirely go besides any notion that Cat might know that Nobi is bad news, because she is oblivious to that.
Yeah, I know it might be frustrating, but I think it's important that we keep the in-character and out-of-character knowledge separate.
Right.
For example, I know I've seen some people say that, because Drip saw Nobi have access to a star chart, that, Nobi's done for, all the evidence is there, we can bust him right now. But remember that hundreds of people come down the mountain every year with star charts for Ozzy to look at, all the travelers coming back from the New World, and Ozzy's been here for 20 years. That's thousands of star charts that are just floating around. So someone having access to one does not dispositively prove anything, although later it could be evidence. If Nobi tried to assert that he had never had access to a star chart, that's evidence to the contrary and could be useful. But we just because out of character we know Nobi did it, we can't use that to build an in-character case against him right now. So I think we got to keep those separate. For example, another thing we've talked about, the motivations for the murders, right? And Nobi's motivations are so fucked up. But even during your rant, at the end when you were talking to Neelith, explaining why Neelith deserves stuff, you didn't turn to the camera and have Nobi say also I'm framing Ozzy because he hit me.
Yeah, I haven't said that. There hasn't been really a chance to say that on the podcast, but yes, Nobi did in fact frame Ozzy because Ozzy hit Nobi one time.
Yeah, just a real petty little monster.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of the setup here. Is Nobi has a little fighting force, and Mold has some kind of designs on the village, although the explicit like contours of that have not come into shape yet. But like, what's Cat doing? If you want to have a Cat Mold scene, we can definitely get there.
Yeah, that's definitely like I'm not even I'm not even to try and be inorganic about it. Like I think that Cat's genuine first move would be to join in that conversation and well, or not even on the conversation with Mold and Nobi, but yeah, come and talk to Mold and see what he wants and see what his kind of plan is, best she can determine. Yeah, so I think that she would want to approach.
So it's a really actually nice day out when the Moist Watch leaves the village of Grendel for the summit. The sun is out. It's still very cold, but this is a kind of if you've heard of snow blindness, it's when the sun is real high and the reflection of the sun rays off the snow can like blind you from the refracted rays. It's like it's real sunny out is what I'm saying, but it's still cold.
Yeah,
and this kind
you
of
can also get sunburn from underneath. You got to be careful.
So that's kind of the
It's
weather.
true, I've had it. I've sunburned very easily.
Yeah, and that's kind of the discordantly beautiful setting for Mold's approach to the village, flanked by the 5 good neighbors, filled with the blue goo. The frost giants leading the way, and then Nobi's like trotting along beside them. And so you like Cat, you're talking to somebody, maybe having a snack or something, and you hear the sounds of these footsteps. You go outside, you see them approaching, and Nobi's just like, okay, we need one over there, and I want one by the north gate.
Yeah, I think Cat's, I mean, this is all, like, still fresh in the aftermath of all the murders, and Cat has to process, like, her probably closest friend in the village being horribly murdered at some point. At some point. No, I'm not saying right now. But, yeah, I think she slinks over to, like, the Applewhite good neighbor robot, and says, Mold.
Yeah, the Applewhite good neighbor kind of comes to a stop. It has like a combine harvester arm, just like a spinning series of blades, and probably like a pitchfork arm, just like some heavy duty farm equipment, farm machinery. And it's
Love that.
every crevice on the steampunk robot is just like dripping blue goo. To the top of its head, like just there's like a pile of goo on top. There's no mouth though, so it comes to a stop. It looks at you. It clearly Mold can perceive you, and then the frost giant body turns and says, "Hello, Cat. It is me, Mold. Did you recognize us?"
Yeah, so Cat's going to turn to the frost giant body now then and say, oh, I will talk to you here then. Yes, I recognized you. You glow blue. It is distinctive.
Yes, I touched the Akashic Stone, so now I'm blue. Sometimes Slime just says like real obvious stuff. So
Yeah, I was going to say, this is just like Mother. Cat would say, I was going to say you have taken over the farm robot.
yes, the genius built the good neighbors to help the villagers in their absence, and they're still gone, so I'm using them to help.
Well, I think that you could help Applewhite since you have the farm, good neighbor, if what you want is to help. But I would like to know, what is it that you want?
I want to help the people of the village. Philippa never authorized me to help with the farm. It seems like if she wanted someone to do that, that would have been her job.
Well, you said that the good neighbors were here to help in the genius's absence, and this one is to help with farming. So if you're going to use it, you should help with farming.
Perhaps, if that's what Philippa wants. I'll ask her when she gets back.
Jesus.
I am not trying to trick you into anything, Mold. I know that you want the villagers to all love you, and I sincerely suspect that helping on the farm may make you have a nice relationship with Farmer Applewhite.
Oh, I have a plan for figuring that out. Thank you for bringing that up. This is an organic segue. And Mold turns sideways and kind of points inelegantly at the Baku, who kind of floats in and is like, "Hey, that was it, kitty friend. Hey, we didn't really."
It is cat.
Yeah, that's what I said. We haven't really hung out, except for that we did some drugs in the forest, but you weren't around for the whole me trying to kill everyone thing, really. So you don't have to worry about that.
That does not sound good.
I'm reformed now. It's fine. I mean, I do definitely want to get revenge on the people who took my sense of taste. Don't get it twisted. But I got another thing going with Mold right now. I'm trying to do some good.
Do you remember when I gave you good drugs?
Yeah, that was like a couple days ago, right? That might have been like earlier in the day of the terrible murders I've been hearing about.
Yeah, like yesterday. Yeah. Perhaps you can tell me what Mold's plan is.
Oh, Mold's gonna get everybody in the village to love them. Everybody. It's gonna be great.
They have been saying this part, but they have not been saying how.
Oh, well, I'm going to go around the village with you, and we're going to find out what everybody wants, and then we're going to give it to them, and then they're going to have to love us.
I foresee. Mold, are you open to constructive criticism?
Mold says, yes, another organic segue. I am open for criticism. However, I am very busy and can avoid this conversation if I walk away right now.
I foresee your plan going poorly.
I foresee my plan going great. So it's a 50-50 if I understand math correctly.
I do not think you understand the math correctly. Particularly, I would like to know your contingency plan if giving everyone things they want does not make them instantly love you.
That doesn't make any sense. That won't happen.
Oh, God. Maybe I will have to revisit Mold's imaginative capacities.
Yeah, so the Baku is kind of floating in front of you. It looks like a tapir. It's like tapir size, actually. So it's not particularly big like a Mold is, but it's got rhino. It's like the actual mythology is it has an elephant's trunk, rhinoceros eyes, whatever that means, ox's tail, tiger paws, and it's like floating, and it can eat dreams. So it's a weird little creature, but it's just like floating in front of you pleasantly. And it's the Baku's like, so can we go now? Can we visit the villagers, see what they want?
Sometimes you meet someone at a party, and you have taken something, and they seem very cool, and then later, they are a different person.
No, I think you're pretty cool. Don't be so hard on yourself. Let's get going.
How do I? This is official watch business, and you are not on the watch, so I will check back with you later. Citizen, please remain right there.
I think Nobi patters over with his little hooves and says, "Hey, what's going on over here? Are you making plans behind my back? I kid.
Yes, this Baku is making plans behind your back.
Oh, this is Anne. We don't call them the Baku anymore. They discovered themselves during a drug trip.
I was there for the drug trip, I know.
Yeah, apparently it's a whole yokai thing. They don't give out their names unless they're really your friends and they're close. So we should all feel honored and we should forgive them for whatever they did, and you should take them with you.
Oh, jeez.
That does make sense. Nobi, how are you feeling with all of the deaths?
Which? Oh, right, yeah, those, the murders.
The triple homicide in the village of 12 people.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Wait, how many people is it?
it depends if you count animals. I mean, Sophie, there's like 30 if you count animals. We really let this guy out of control. Yeah, I mean, what would Nobi say about this is something where you're probably deeper into the psychology of Nobi at this precise moment. Well, how does Nobi feel, or how would Nobi address this?
Yeah, I've been thinking about I've been thinking about a few things with Nobi because of like handing him over from PC to NPC, well, back to NPC, but like just like stuff like how he's an authoritarian personality, but like he's not like a Twitter chud. So like, as you know, there are things like there have been trans themes and Kat is transitioned, but I don't think that Nobi would be like a transphobe or anything like this. Like this is stuff I've been thinking about, and like trying to work through it. I'm really like. He knows he's got to pretend, at least. That's kind of the best answer I'd come to. Like, that he knows that he has to... He wants to see what he sees as justice play out on Arze. So he knows he has to at least pretend until that's all happened, and then he can kind of slip into indifference towards the victims, I think.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Nobi would have to pretend. I think it's like you say, like, yeah, it's really sad. Now I can't go to therapy now that Ruth's gone. Just like making it about him and then just being like...
Yeah, even in his pretense, he's just an egotistical little shithead. I think that's exactly right, yeah. and pivoting to like, we have to keep the villagers safe, so I've beefed up security. Now we have to make sure everyone's can feel free to walk the streets at night.
How are you feeling about mold? Speaking of being safe. You lit yourself on fire to defeat Mold, and now you are friends?
Mold supports our brave Moist Watch.
We love our boys in blue.
We love our boys in blue, and we love our blue boys.
I'm just recycling material at this point, but it's just too good that Mold is it's the police and is this... Yeah. Okay.
I feel that Mold has represented a threat to the village and perhaps needs more of a vetting process.
Nobi turns to Mold and says, "You hear that? We have to vet you. I don't know what that means. Do we kill him? I'll get the fire."
No, we just need to establish that Mold is not going to, for instance, enslave us all with fungal spores.
Mold says, "That seems fair. I'll lay here until I am vetted." And then Mold just goes completely boneless, just collapses like a Jenga tower in the town square, and just lays motionless.
Wait, like all of the bodies, like a pile?
Yeah, just completely like not really understanding what's going on, but also trying to be like compliant and helpful. It's just like, do what you got to do, and then just like a marionette with its strings cut just collapses.
Yeah, I think this is like, although it doesn't entirely follow, but like I think this is a gesture that to Kat garners some, well, sympathy. I don't know, like. Makes Kat feel more like Mold is trustworthy because he's at least complying with the idea of being vetted.
Yeah, Kat's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she wants to see the best in people.
We saw how that worked out with Neelith.
Oofa. So
Nobi,
That's me.
Anne wants to come with us to find out for Mold what everyone in the village wants.
That sounds reasonable.
It is indeed hard to find what might be bad about it, but I am trying to keep aware as a member of the Watch and not trust people in front of me who might turn out to be sinister.
Well, if they don't have anything to hide, then why would it matter if we ask them questions?
I think that we should take Anne to a test villager to test what this looks like, to see what Mold's plan is.
Hey, I love tests. Bring him at him. Bring me at him. Come on. I'll ace a test.
Who would be good to test?
Yeah, so at this point, this was kind of the pitch I made to Sophie before we started, was I wanted Kat to check in with all the villagers, and this kind of set the stage for the final arc, is like, how is everyone feeling going into the clash between, the protagonists and the antagonists.
Yeah.
And so there's like 8 choices here, and who you get to and in what order will kind of decide, not everything, because there's the whole season before this, but we'll decide kind of the final posture going into any big clashes and confrontations.
Mm-hmm. I think that Kat is gonna... I think that off the top of her head, the very first person who could not be a test villager for this would be Shoko, because Shoko's mind is something eldritch and treacherous. And if this mind reader is going to do something like unreliable, that we don't know what Mold's reaction is going to be, and so on and so forth, Shoko would be the worst choice. Then there's maybe like someone like Applewhite, who's kind of reclusive in general, so probably doesn't really have much to hide because she lives a pretty simple life.
If Shoko was in Psychonauts, her mind would be like, I want to be the guy. If you remember that Flash game.
Right, yeah. Okay, I think that after a minute of considering, Kat goes,
We need someone who will be utterly simple in the mind to interrogate. No surprises.
And then there's a wipe. then in the HBO show, there's a comic. There's the funniest wipe, the star wipe. There's a star wipe to them sitting with Gigi.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is an interesting choice. I don't know if you did this on purpose, but no one has spoken to Professor Gigi since they stopped being governor.
Oof.
And every time they have appeared on screen, they've acted strangely. At the barbecue, at the the opening of the ice rink, they didn't speak to anyone. And then at the big mob scene outside of Oz's, they just collapsed into the snow and nobody checked on them.
Oh, Jesus. My/Cat's logic is like Gigi was selected as no thoughts had empty for the governor, and so surely will be a perfect test case for Anne.
Yeah, this is just an interesting confluence of events. Could not have controlled exactly how this turned out, but you go to the schoolhouse, you knock on the door, no answer. I think Nobi just, stands up on 2 legs to turn the handle and pushes inside. And you see the place is kind of really messy. There's whatever the medieval equivalent of like ramen noodle packages everywhere, and just like dirty dishes. Gigi's like on the floor mattress, no box spring.
It's like instant. It's like an instant cauldron. You drink the noodles out of the cauldron and then you throw it away. So there's just like all these disposable paper pots.
You go down to the bodega and you just get a 6-pack of cauldrons.
Yeah, exactly. Kat says,
Nobi, it looks unexpected in here. I may have made a poor choice. However, now we must think tactically.
Is it time to fuck?
No. This is exactly not the time to fuck. That's what I am saying. We.
Hey, did somebody say it's time to fuck? What is going on here?
Listen, shh. Cat puts a big lion's paw right over his little face. She's like, no, shut up. and she's like, you have to remember that things went less than ideally with Venta. It could have gone better if you had.
This is explicitly the first time that Kat is trying to. I mean, it's not like they've had scenes together, but I'm just saying in the backstory friendship I've imagined, this is like the first time of Kat trying to somewhat manipulate Nobi, but like only a little, because she's concerned that he would view criticism of how he handled the extremely poorly handled situation with Venta, like any criticism, as like, because she's heard him like rant and rave about how Aze was completely wrong for hours on end. So she's like,
one of the things I really wanted to get out of us doing this episode was more Nobi Cat dialogue, because while you were controlling them both, they didn't really get to chat. So I'm really looking forward to us having them interact.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that again, a bit of backstory there would be that at some point off screen, Kat definitely had to sit through like hours and hours of Nobi being like, could you believe Aze? That was fucking ridiculous. Like just going on and on, like, yeah. And so
he hit me on the face in front of everyone.
He's lucky his hand didn't fall off his wrist. Because Nobi's logic is now he isn't a god, and he's found that out since, but at that time he didn't know, therefore Aze didn't know, so Aze could have been struck dead on the spot for doing something like that.
It's a classic nevertheless.
Yeah, exactly. So Kat's like,
because if with Venta we had first ascertained that there was a quarry and then detained the suspect, it would have been a successful operation.
Oh, so we gotta take him into custody.
No, we first must find out if something is up. It could just be normal old Gigi who needs some help.
I know what you mean. Wink.
Wait, no. No wink.
I also get what you mean. I'm gonna take a circumference. I'm gonna look around the perimeter. I'm gonna set up I'm gonna tactically ascertain.
You are a guest. You are not on the watch. You are doing no circumference.
I'm gonna do an optical pat down of the situation. I have a tactical katana I got from the mall.
I will allow you to do one optical pat down.
It's got the quick draw feature.
If you do a good optical pat down, you will be officially a rookie.
Does Anne still have the fedora? This is important to me, and now I've realized.
I think so. I don't know that there's any point where the fedora was lost.
Yeah, we haven't narratively justified a lost fedora, so we can't just take it. Why are we like this? But yeah, Gigi's just sitting on the mattress in like the corner. Seems to like be reading a book. I think if you two are having this conversation, or you three really are having this conversation in the entranceway of the schoolhouse eventually, I'll roll perception, in fact. Yeah. 13. Yeah, that's above average, which is what I was going for. I think Gigi just says, I can hear you. I'm not.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not insensible.
Hello, Gigi.
Hello, Cat, and Nobi, and is that the Baku that tried to kill us all? Where are the people? Is there any people left in this village?
We are not saying the Baku. This is Anne, and now Anne is our friend.
Inconceivable.
I just want to say that for the first scene where we've properly got to play out Cat and Nobi being the watch on their own, coming to the door of the guy's house and just having a conversation about him when he's obviously in earshot is like the best possible lion and sheep try to solve a murder.
Oh man. Just imagine the ripple effects if we go back and when someone asks, can there be like animal characters? And I'm like, no, I don't think that'll fit the tone. And then just the fucking butterfly effect of what this show turns out to be if we don't have this. Oh my god.
Perhaps inconceivable, but true. How are you doing, Gigi?
Oh,
I just realized I can only say GG like the way you'd say at the end of a League of Legends game. Yeah. I'm so fucking mind poisoned.
Gigi says, melancholy, all things told. It's been a difficult winter. Is there something I can help you, sanguine fellows, with?
I want to say what I want one of them to say what's sanguine, but I feel like it's the most clearly a Nobi line.
No, you can still be Nobi if the spirit moves you.
Okay. Yeah, I think that then it's
what's sanguine?
Oh dear sheep. It means like positive in a negative situation. There's been a terrible crime and you're all still out there trying to help everyone. It's well, it fills one with hope.
Well, that's our divine duty.
Yes. Well, it's our job.
I'm not sure how much more divinity we have now with Very gone, if you don't mind me saying.
Very's loss weighs heavy upon my heart. He was only ever virtuous.
Nobi sneaks a communion wafer out of his floof and just eats it sneakily. Just one of the vanilla special ones that absolutely just took
18 perception.
Oh no, my sight gag is going to become something. Yeah. With an 18 perception, you definitely see Nobi eat a snack in the middle of this somber conversation.
It doesn't strike Kat as very weird because, again, backstory, like, Kat is used to Nobi being a dickhead. So the snack itself, not weird, but the fact that it's a wafer makes her go,
Things that make you go,
Indeed. Kat says,
all of the panic was extremely tumultuous. Am I saying this word right, Teacher Gigi?
Yes, very Sesquilepedian of you, dear Cat.
Yeah, maybe. You collapsed, and I am wondering if you are okay after passing out.
I've been feeling unwell recently. I have to say, since losing the governorship, I've felt quite separate from everyone.
Have you been seeing anyone?
Romantically?
At all, in any capacity?
No, I mean, not really.
This is troubling.
The Baku burst in through a side door and it's like, hey, the perimeter's safe. I got it. We're wrapping this up? Come on.
Yes, and I would like you to, with permission and consent from Gigi, figure out, his desires.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be a low DC, but I think roll persuasion on Gigi to ask for permission for this.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I'll roll and then I'll see what I say. 11.
Yeah, I was looking for 10, so
cool.
That works.
Yeah. I'm like
Gigi, Mold is trying to integrate with the community. We hope in a non-threatening way, but currently his plan involves finding out what everyone wants so he can give it to them. And our psychic friend is going to look into your mind if that is okay with you.
Yeah, sure. I don't have much left to lose, so.
Oh my god.
And floats over and using the big elephant trunk that Baku's have, like, sniffs at Gigi's head for probably an uncomfortable length of time.
Oh god.
Probably goes on longer than anyone's comfortable with, and people are trying to figure out where to look, where to put their hands.
It's the part where when it goes past what Nobi is comfortable with, that's when it gets fucked up. Because Nobi's like, this is naturally just the police exercising any resources at their utility to investigate everyone and keep them safe. But at some point, he's like, yeah, man, I don't know about this.
I don't know about this one, Chief. But yeah, Anne sniffs Gigi, and after a while says, yeah, our friend here wants to be the governor again because he felt like he was helping people. Now he feels like he's useless and nobody likes him and they're just leaving him here. So he's like, feels lonely and useless and shit.
Gigi, is this true?
Indubitably. How would you feel in my position?
Probably very lonely.
Well, there we are. I think that's enough humiliation for one day, if you'll leave me, friends.
As you know, Aze stands accused by some evidence and by the villagers. I was wondering if you could perhaps look at Aze's documents and star maps.
Oh, yeah, I think this is a great time to actually acknowledge something here, which is that while you're visiting each of the village members to kind of talk to them about how they're feeling, check in on them, there's also like this expectation that you'd ask them questions about the case, like the murders. But out of character, we know that they don't know anything because there was no other witnesses. So we're not going to waste a whole bunch of time having, each person be interrogated so we can get to the foregone conclusion that they don't have any useful knowledge. So let's have this set the example that at some point during all these conversations you'll say, did you see anything that night? Could you help this way and that way? And like we know out of character, us in the audience, that nothing really comes of any of that, but also I guess we need to acknowledge that you did ask these questions, because otherwise people will feel like it's a plot hole that we didn't do more investigation. But that's just not where our time is best spent. Having conversations we know aren't going to amount to anything.
Yeah, so I think that they're on the way to whoever they're going to go see next, and I don't know who that is yet. But so who should that be? I think Applewhite probably. That was my second idea after Gigi. But they're on their way there, and Kat saying to Nobi,
Nobi, I understand that the governorship is a contested and political matter, but Gigi cannot simply be governor to make him happy.
Well, that's not really your or my problem. Molded and we'll talk to Philippa.
Nobi, you cannot possibly be this short-sighted. If Mold cannot give everyone what they want at some point, Mold backup plans and contingencies will fall simply to possessing everyone in town.
No, he said he wasn't going to do that. That doesn't sound right. I think also there's an element of Nobi being like, I could take Mold in a fight.
Yeah, totally. But even on that note, I think that Kat would say,
I think that you should cast a vigilant eye to your new friend when you see him again, and see him how an officer of the law might.
I mean, Mold has done more for the village than anyone else. Have you ever given 5 giant robots to the town watch?
We are waiting for Mold to talk to your mother about how the robots will be useful to the town.
Maybe if we had 5 robots before, Vari and Neelith and Ruth wouldn't be dead. You ever think of that?
No, I didn't think of that. Nobi.
Maybe we should have 10 robots.
Maybe we should have all robots and no villagers. And everyone is just robots.
That's the spirit.
Oh, God. So they go to, with that frustrating conversation, they go to see Applewhite, I think.
Yeah. Anne's leading the charge, sniffing wildly because they've definitely got some kind of sense on the wind, and it's all the various fruits and vegetables growing, and then all the tum-tums come rolling out, and everyone's just sniffing up a storm. Everyone's trunking it. It's just trunk on trunk on trunk action.
Oh, God. It's just, it's a Roman orgy of trunk action.
A Roman orgy of trunks, the Austin Yorsky story.
When I was up in Manchester to go mushroom picking, I saw a guy who was wearing a T-shirt that said there was just a picture of Caesar and in quotes, "What are you gonna do? Stab me?" And it keeps on popping up in my head. It was great. Anyway,
yeah, that's a play on that news report. It's like stabbing victim quote. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think they go to see. Well, I think that Kat's gonna go past all the tum-tums, knowing that Nobi views himself as a coup installed dictator of the Republic of Tum-Tums, and there's all this trunking going on, and Kat's gonna go straight to Applewhite to try and get to talk to her alone briefly.
Yeah, so if the trunking, as we're calling it, is going on in the background, Applewhite is circling a tree with a long pole and pulling the fruit out with a claw with a basket. I did this recently on a farm in Lancaster. There's
Fantastic.
To get the fruit out, you hook him with this claw and then pulls it down into this basket.
Nice.
And so she's doing that as you approach. And when we walk up to her, she puts it down, wipes her head with a rag or something, and says, "Morning, afternoon, I don't know anymore. That sun's bright, isn't it? Whew."
They don't make watches big enough for my wrists.
Have you tried that, dear? Was there a montage of you just completely eating shit every time a giant watch knocked you over?
I am yet to have the full fashion montage that I want and deserve.
You so richly deserve.
Yeah, exactly. My end of season princess fashion montage.
Shit. Right. Right. Okay. Trunking. Nobi's giving a little speech to the tum-tums who are trunking each other. Fruit basket. Right.
Good day, Farmer Applewhite. We have come here on watch business.
Oh, isn't that nice? Are you deciding who's guilty and who's innocent again? That's how lovely for you.
Farmer Applewhite, do you have a name besides Farmer Applewhite? It feels like a mouthful to say every time.
No, that's what I am.
Okay, Farmer Applewhite.
I'm a worker, dear.
I understand that you have had unpleasant interactions with the watch before, but you had me into your home, and I slept very peacefully there. It was nice, and then we met some yokai. They tasted like neurochemicals. You and I have only ever gotten along, and I would not like to be judged by your disagreements with Philippa and the watch.
I ain't got no quarrel with you, Kat. You're lovely.
Thank you, Farmer Applewhite. I think you are lovely too. I have concerns about the security of the village, and as the largest villager, I wanted to talk to you privately away from my associates.
Well, first of all, Kat, you can't be saying that to people. You can't just say that to a lady about being the largest. Second of all,
as the most physically impressive and tallest villager.
there you go. That's my first piece of advice. The second piece of advice.
Mummiest villager.
God. My second piece of advice is don't trust the government.
I have so far not enjoyed the government very much, so I am with you there.
Speaking of my trip to Lancaster, half the time was talking about all the great subsidies the government had given them, and the other half was about how onerous all the government rules about farming were. And it was like, these two things are super connected, but I don't really want to get in an argument with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Kat says,
my friend Nobi has, I feel a little naively taken Mold at his word that he wants to help us all and give people what they want, and not considered that Mold may want to control everyone's brains with spores.
Oh my. Well, that definitely seems like something my tax dollars should be going to stop. We don't really pay taxes. It's not that kind of system, but you know what I mean.
I was wondering if you could get some of your fruit and work perhaps with Potter in secret, and maybe Gigi, because he is an educated man, to brew some alcohol.
Okay, here we go. This is interesting. So, first of all, are you doing this within sight of Anne and Nobi, for that matter?
It depends. Well, Anne specifically, it depends how trunky things are getting. No, it doesn't. I think that that's all you know, the gate, the fence, the edge of the property, and I've come right down into the field. So I think no.
Okay, so are you trying to keep this between the two of you? I guess I should have just said.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, can you roll? I think stealth is really the thing I want here.
Yeah. This might be the season. Okay. 9. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's not good enough. But it doesn't blow up. I just think Nobi overhears. Like Nobi is standing nearby. So I'm just gonna make a mental note of that. Is all I'm gonna say.
Oh no.
Applewhite says, "Sure, honey. I think a lot of people would feel a lot better if we got some cider in us. So I'm all for it."
Jesus, I've just endangered everyone.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Kat says,
to be clear, we need alcohol because it is the effective poison to a slime mold.
I always like that slime that's on the Moist Watch. An odd duck, to be sure, but always very nice to me.
That is my mother, and she is not to be poisoned under any circumstances.
I guess I'm not surprised, though. One of the Moist Watch is the one that doesn't get poisoned.
I think you are being uncharitable, Farmer Applewhite. I do not mean to speak out of turn, but I do not believe you would want to poison your mother. Perhaps you would. I do not know your mother.
My mother whooped me red.
Well, sometimes people have bad mothers, and that is really sad.
Sometimes people have big mothers.
Either way, it is a personal connection and nothing to do with my professional relationships.
Oh, Cat. See, that's where you misunderstand. It always has something to do with that. But I guess that's not really here nor there, is it?
I would like to learn more about mistrusting the government. Are there any books that I can read?
Oh yeah. Oh child, I got some secret books I'll show you later when the fuzz is gone.
Fantastic.
I'm not gonna make you roll for this, I think, because if you ask, oh, can the Baku sniff you to know what you want, Farmer Applewhite will just come out and say she wants help on the farm, and she feels like no one comes out and helps her, and she has to feed everyone by herself, and is growing resentful of that responsibility.
Right, okay. to which Cat is just like,
I told Molt this would be an easy win.
Yeah, but so the interesting outcome, besides learning more about Farmer Applewhite, is more alcohol, which I guess we will deal with probably in the next downtime, the final downtime, because currently there's one bottle left.
yeah.
Which if things come down to combat is going to be cutting it mighty close. So
Also, we don't really know. I mean, I guess it's probably just stored somewhere in the Wind and Dine flare.
yeah, I think at the last episode we recorded, I asked where did Nilith's items go, and I think you said Philip had the Beyblades and the drone. So I think it also
Gotcha.
makes sense that you would have the alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 2 of the 8 villagers visited. I feel like we'll get half and then live with it.
Yeah, maybe we check in on the others. I don't know if that's what you want to do, or like in the other episodes, but yeah, whatever happens. Inspired by a mention of a fashion montage, Kat would like to go see Marina,
Hell yeah.
and to be fair, also drugs.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can smell Marina's situation before you can see it. Just thick clouds. She's just ripping cotton in her office. She's not working. all her stuff is she's been needles down since the murders. So you
Jeez.
get in there and she is just I was gonna say watching Netflix. Obviously, this is a medieval situation, so I don't know what. It's just looking at some sick tablets, eating popcorn, smoking out her shop.
That was an interesting thing. I went to the art gallery the other day, and there was some medieval stuff that like put a lot of scenes of a story into like one painting, and it was kind of interesting because it was like a story that everyone was clearly already familiar with, because it was like, you know, the tale of Saint Francis or whatever. So it's just kind of interesting to see, like, rather than like a medium that is there to tell you a story, it's all just like fan art essentially. It's just like, hey, check out, this is this is every bit of this story crammed into one panel.
Yeah, for like 1,000 years, the only acceptable visual art was Bible fan art.
Yeah.
And that's kind of sweet in a way if you think about it. It's the biggest fandom in the world.
Yeah. And the most hotly contested fandom, the most hotly contested fanfic, the Book of Mormon.
That was better than my joke. I was just going to say it has been eclipsed by the BTS fandom now. For a while there, it had the crown.
Yeah. It's turning over now. We may see Elon Musk's fandom rise as being an Elon Musk fan is compulsory in his Mars colony. So, hey, Marina.
Hey, what? I had a British accent before, isn't it?
In it, Gov.
Bruh. It's been a while since I smoked weed. I'm trying to get into the headspace, but it's been it's like riding a bike. I don't know how to do it anymore. Not since the accident.
Yeah, Cat's like,
Are you in a position to talk?
Are you in a position to receive words that might hurt you?
Are you going to hurt me with your words, Marina?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hurt you. Do you really wanna hurt me? Do you wanna make me hurt?
Hey, Marina. what was that thing you wanted to tell me a second ago?
Snack? She holds the bowl of popcorn out to you.
Cat just plunges her face right in the bowl.
Yeah, I think Nobi was about to, and you get there first, and then Nobi looks slighted. Just like you did it personally to him instead of just you're a big animal. Anne says, "Hey, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a good reading in here. My snuffler is kind of full, if you know what I'm saying."
Yes, it can make you phlegmy. Yeah, if you want to wait outside, we can ask Marina directly, and maybe she will be able to tell us.
I'm just saying, it seems like some kind of, degenerate behavior. Some of me and the boys on the dream message boards were talking about how this stuff. Never mind, I'll talk about it later.
Jesus Christ.
All of your bodies are on speed.
So, fun fact: lots of Nazis sell drugs. So, I saw on that topic. Like, I saw a stand-up who used to deal, and he has a great story about cutting I think he was selling them both meth and coke that he was selling to these to these neo-Nazis, and that he was cutting the coke with baby laxatives, and he kept on cutting it more and more, and they kept on coming back to him for it, being like, that coke was fucking great, but don't try the Indian takeout because it gave us all the shits really bad, because they would just always blame like some non-white people in their vicinity for their increasingly destroyed bowels instead of his drugs. Anyway, it was a good bit. I'm not doing it justice. Right.
That's direct action.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, what a king.
We wanted to check in on you since the deaths occurred. It is pretty obvious how you are doing in general, but I still thought I should ask.
After probably too long of a pause, like Marina doesn't realize that she's not talking. She kind of enters a thought halfway through and just says, "I was going to ask Neelith on a date."
Oh. You can't be doing that to me, Austin. That's not fair. That's not okay.
You started it. You were the sheep who started it.
Laura started it, but she's not here to blame today.
Okay.
Neelith and I were going to come to you to get fashion.
Maybe if I asked her, then we could have been on a date and she wouldn't have been at Ruth's.
If I had not wandered into the village, I would not be speaking to you now, and I would not have my mother and my friends, and I never would have met Neelith. And maybe if I had not met Neelith, her life would have been differently, and she would not have been there. There are no ways of knowing what would be different.
It all started when I made a joke about Shoko's ears. Everyone hates me now.
I don't hate you. I think you're really cool.
I mean, I am, but not everyone thinks so. Why do you think I'm cool?
Because you get to make whatever kinds of clothes you want and wear them. And that's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I can be cool. You're cool, Cat. Nobody's like, what about me? And Marina's like, oh, who's there? Oh
God. Nobi, I think you're cool too.
Yeah, cool, thanks.
Marina, would you like for everyone to think you are cool again.
Oh yeah, interesting. I mean, she would. I don't know if that's the thing she wants from every. Is it?
Yeah, but she's baked out of her gourd right now, and we can't have the mind reader in, so Kat's just taking a stab.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where this scene ended up. We had to be honest about how it went, which is that Marina wants everyone to think she's cool. I mean, I was gonna say what she wants is Neelith back, but I mean, in a way,
Right.
that's kind of what everyone wants. But that's where I thought she was gonna end this conversation. But if we're just being earnest about the altered state, there is a element of just like I don't want this to be my fault. And I want everyone to know it's not my fault.
Oh, God.
Nobi and I are going to talk to everyone, and we are going to let them know it is not your fault. And then everyone will know it is not your fault.
Wow, you do that for me?
Yes, Marina.
Marina, I this whole time I've been picturing her just like laying in bed doing this. This is also what Gigi was doing. Everyone can't be in bed. Where is she?
Yeah, it's like you described this before, like representing depression. It's like it's not that interesting because it's just like you lie in bed and don't feed yourself and don't brush your teeth and don't get dressed. Like,
This season's about a lot of things: non-human intelligence, the police, loneliness, depression. Sometimes it's about having fun with your animal friends, though, and that's cool.
in that sense, it's Austin Yoski's The Wall.
Oh no, not you too. Everyone's getting wall-pilled on the left right now. Thanks to my old boss, I think. I think Doug Walker started this.
To be fair, I already liked The Wall, but
I did too. I had the DVD. I love Pink Floyd. I know all their albums. I'm a big Pink Floyd fan.
But the Doug Walker thing was just funny, so nothing to be done about it.
I hate being reminded that he exists.
When people give me shit about the Matrix sequels are good actually video, I go, Doug Walker agrees with you, so you're in good company.
Oh no, that is a very indefensible position. Oh fuck. Where was I even going with this? Oh yeah, what's a good place to smoke weed? I guess is where I was going with that. Besides bed, that's the only place I think I have ever done it.
I think if you lived in a spaceship, the roof would be more accessible than it would in a normal house, and I think that the roof would be an amazing place to smoke weed.
Also, that's not true. Also, in the woods and on the train tracks, I've also smoked weed. Now that I think about it, but mostly in bed. I think there's like an observation deck in the spaceship, so she's like hotboxing the holodeck. What's it called in Star Trek?
The holodeck,
The holodeck, yeah. But she's like hotboxing the holodeck, and you can like there's like two settings left, and it's like night sky and like nebula or something. So it's like really trippy.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so if we go through the conversation so far, Gigi wants to be governor again because he can make a difference and people will care.
Yep.
Applewhite wants help on the farm because she feels like she's taken for granted and ignored.
Yep.
And Marina wants everyone to think she's cool, but perhaps more importantly, she wants to be reassured that the deaths weren't her fault because she wasn't close to Neelith like she wanted to be.
Oh, okay. Bye, Marina.
And then Kat would say to Nobi,
I think we should go see other mother, sun, moon, stars, and I think she will probably not have too many surprises.
Yeah, she probably wants something gross and sex related.
oh god.
Your moms are gross, Kat. I'm sorry.
They are not gross. They just have a different approach.
Yeah, approaching the dumpster.
Hey, is anybody plotting any nightmarish revenge for our friend Neelith? I was hoping we could think of something more creative. Can we have fun with it?
Oh my god, Mari is here in the call. I'm really surprised by that.
I can't believe we didn't see this coming.
How could
Hello,
this happen?
Mari.
I thought maybe we could start with finding them, but if they are a creature of flesh, we could cut them over and over the same cuts.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm just putting ideas out there.
We don't need to find him. We know it's Ozzy. He'll be back, and then we can bury him alive or whatever.
Oh, I thought that we confirmed that Ozzy was too much of what people would call a wimp to cause that level
A
of
little,
of
nerd.
damage. Yeah, he's kind of a
dweeb.
little baby nerd.
Total bitch. Yes.
Some people would call him a beta.
Yes.
Submissive and breedable, some would say.
Why? Why?
I have heard him describe himself this way, yes.
Oh, yeah, see? Too baby, too...
Other mother, we are not here directly to do with the murders. We are checking in with everyone.
The Baku pops out from behind Nobi and Kat, and she's like, "Hey, you're the little lady that flew up into the air. Sorry about almost smashing all your bones and stuff."
Oh, I heard... Oh, Slime told me that you had cat puke into your mouth, so I'm gonna have to see if you're a stand-up creature. Okay?
Yes. Sometimes you kiss someone at a party with your mother and your son, and you are all on drugs, and it is a mistake later.
All right, well, I'm gonna have to ask you to not wear the fedora anymore, and treat any woman you see with respect. All right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some of that respect women juice from the rats I've been hearing about. Sounds tasty.
It leaks from the bottom of the bin bags.
Oh, they'll just puke it right into your mouth. Don't even worry.
God. Where am I supposed to put the hat? I'm not just gonna throw it on the ground. I'm not some kind of litter bug.
You could bury it.
Oh, you could eat it.
You could eat it. Was Sun Moon Stars like this before meeting Slime? Has she just always been like this?
Yeah, that's why they're meant for each other.
The Baku just kind of floats over to the corner of the cemetery and quietly starts eating their hat.
Mari just saw something in this NPC.
Yo, just real quick, is the Baku's gender identity still masculine? Because they did have the trip and say their name was Anne, so I'm just asking.
I think they're still trying to figure it out. I don't know
Is
that
it they, them, all right.
Yeah.
We're on the they, them to she, her pipeline. It's fine. So, yeah.
Other mother, how are you doing? Since Neelith and Veri and Ruth were all horribly murdered.
The pain inside me is unbearable, so I cope with it by thinking of all the ways I'm going to torture and cut up and eat the person who did this.
You too, huh? Everyone's just a complete savage. Okay. Love to protect a bunch of uncivilized. No, it's fine. It's definitely worth putting my life on the line for you. I don't resent you.
Oh, have you put your life on the line for us ever?
He lit himself on fire to destroy Mold. Although Mold is not destroyed and is now Nobi's friend.
Well, Mold is sort of my in-law, so, we're trying to, Mold hasn't really killed anybody yet, so it's kind of fine.
He killed an entire village of yokai.
Yeah, but what was the context?
Sun Moon Star is also with Slime on the It's Okay to Kill Yokai. Wonderful.
Oh, God.
But they're not alive, They're controlling their dead bodies, not their living ones. That's a little different.
Mother, I also have been very upset. It is sad to me that Ruth, who was always so small and could not fight anyone, would experience this. It seems whoever would do this would be cruel.
Well, it seems like they desiccated the bodies more than necessary, which shows either a level of interpersonal hate or some sort of psychopathy. But don't worry. Soon we will consume the flesh of the betrayer and feel fulfilled.
You've been reading psychocriminology. Have you been reading books by John E. Douglas? Because there are lots of methodological problems in his work.
Oh, okay. Well, it's usually from my mother, who is an all-seeing circle of eyes, and she passes judgment on those she thinks are not good enough, which is why I kind of rebelled a little bit and became a morally ambiguous sex freak.
We've all been there.
I am going to have to rebel in other ways.
Oh, okay. Sun, Moon, Star, Cat, I don't want you to do that thing that you like doing. Is this helping?
Is this anything?
Which thing?
I don't know. Whichever one you want to rebel with is the thing I don't like.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't like it to be gender related, because if you didn't like that, that would be very
That's
hard
why
to
I
deal
asked you about what you wanted.
I am trying to think of, maybe it is my art. I want to make more neurochemical arts.
No way. I hate that, but I'll always love you. But just know you would be rebelling against my wishes if you made neurochemical art.
I am going to deface the burial ground with beautiful murals.
Don't put beautiful murals
life,
all over the cemetery. I would hate it.
so that people can rest in a place that abstractly expresses life's journey as an act of rebellion.
That sounds beautiful. Don't dare do it.
Okay.
Graffiti's illegal.
Laws are instituted by those in power. The final stage of self-actualization is having your own morality outside of the constructs of your culture.
This is your brain on Nietzsche.
Nobody's just like, I don't know why everyone needs to get an art degree these days. You can be an engineer, you can learn to code, do something useful.
They already fulfilled all of the niches in our village before I arrived.
We don't have an architect. You ever think of that?
All the buildings were built already.
Okay, just ask her what she wants so we can leave.
Anne, please come and look in my other mother's mind. Wait, with her consent. Wait, hang on. Other mother. Is it okay if Anne looks in your brain?
Sure, but, I feel pretty satisfied sexually, emotionally, and interpersonally, so there's not very many things I really desire left.
Anne is good at finding out what you want even when you don't know.
Okay.
There's so much hat. Oh, when I started, I thought I'd be done by now. It's so tough and chewy. This is gonna take an hour.
That's okay. I'll shove it down your throat if you don't treat people with respect.
Anne can sniff Sun, Moon, Stars to detect what she wants. Is it that you are completely satisfied? I was thinking that you would want, revenge for Neelith's murder. To dismember and eat. I believe you said the killer.
Oh yeah, that I want to do that. I want to eat them.
Okay, I think that's what Anne sniffs out. Is
they have to suffer for a long time first. It sweetens the meat.
Hey, I know the feeling. Yeah, you get when you get the suffering right inside the flesh. That's good eating.
Yeah, it's not so often you have the moral high ground to be able to make someone feel fear for an extended period of time and then consume their flesh. But you know what? Now's a special time. It is a special treat. It is the silver lining to this dark cloud.
I will not be taking part in revenge. I do not aim to talk you out of your feelings or what do you want. But I do not want more pain and suffering.
That is very mature of you, and I'm proud of you. I'm not that mature.
Mother, I am not trying to be mature. the only friend who understood what I am going through, is dead. And I cannot bring myself to hate.
You honor Neelith with your peaceful ways.
I do not feel like I am honoring her. Everyone else is angry. And I am doing something wrong by not hating.
No, you're never doing anything wrong, no matter how you react to something terrible. However you react is the right way. I want to consume the flesh of the betrayer, and you want to find peace and bring people together. We're both equally valid.
Thank you, Mother. I will think about this.
No matter how your neurochemicals express themselves into actions, they're never wrong. It's how you act on those feelings is how could be wrong, possibly. Or some would say me plotting murder is wrong. But how I feel is still valid.
For once, I agree with you.
And Nobi, how do you feel?
I just want to keep the people of the village safe. I'm not particularly invested in revenge. I mean, Ozzy will get what's coming to him. So.
Oh, it's hard for me to imagine roasting up Ozzy. He has a lot of flesh. And also, I still don't think he has the constitution to enact any sort of grotesque violence. He's barely able to handle it when he does regular violence.
How did you feel when Voya went missing? Did you think Ozzy did this?
No, I had no reason to suspect him.
Yeah, the only person who knew that he was lying was Very. So, getting rid of the witness is a pretty smart move.
I suppose. But I trust in you and Nobi to be able to figure out who did this. And whoever it is, I'll consume their flesh. Well, it's up to everybody, They were friends with everybody. But personally, I'm voting flesh consumption.
Maybe there will be voting. Okay.
I'm willing to do whatever's best for the community. It's just my personal thing that I would want people to vote on is extended torture and consumption.
I think Sun Moon Star's position has been concretely established.
Yeah. And Kat, I think that Kat would want to talk to Nobi about Aze, and say,
Nobi, when I say that I cannot bring myself to hate, it is because of, perhaps it is Aze. Maybe you are right, and it is Aze. But our village is very inaccessible. We killed the Kitsune. There has been no signs of other people living here except perhaps mold. So, whoever it is someone we already know. And I cannot imagine hating and wanting to kill anyone we already know.
I'm trying to think if Nobi is someone who thinks like they're above hate, like letting him like, oh, I'm a logical, rational actor, and you're all,
big time
hysterical.
I think
okay,
absolutely, yeah.
But also is like Nobi does hate Aze for hitting him, definitely.
Oh yeah, to be clear, yeah. No, I mean, I said before when I was getting into the Nobi voice, like it's a Kylo Ren thing. Because I really think he's like that. He views his actions as very rational, and from the outside, everyone can tell this is a boy who is consumed with hormones.
Does he just need to nut? That's how I felt like Kylo Ren. He just needed to nut. That's why he kept calling Rey on the phone with FaceTime with no shirt on.
Yeah.
This season cannot end with Nobi nutting and everything being okay.
Why not?
This is part of why I wanted to
say
this thing to Nobi just now, is that Nobi reforming at this point wouldn't make everything okay. So that's why I think it's interesting. Yeah, that's why I wanted to say this thing just now.
Yeah, getting emotional is for liberals. I'm objective in my duties, so I'm not really worried about hating people. I'm just trying to do the law. So Hey, it looks like it's getting dark. Do you want to pick this up tomorrow?
Nobi, do the neurocomicals in your head fire less than other people, or do you suppress them?
This seems weirdly loaded. Is it because I'm a sheep? Are you being racist? Are you on some Marina shit right now?
Nobi does not like attention drawn to the fact he is a sheep mother. He has a whole speech about it. I have heard it 3 times.
Ah, well, I feel like I never even brought up the word sheep, and you're using that as a distraction and guilt maneuver in order to not talk about what we just asked.
Yeah, I have stuff to do, so I'm gonna go.
All right, well, if you're going to complain about the liberals, maybe you shouldn't use the tactics they use in order to get what you want.
Yeah, maybe you should huff my butt. How about that?
Mother, I am sorry. You are being a little bit weird, and maybe you should huff his butt. I will see you tomorrow. Good night. Say good night to the abomination for me.
All right.
Give it a little
Abomination
kiss.
misses you.
I also will check in tomorrow on Abomination.
All right. Well, if you want to bring it some flesh, please do. Try to avoid brain matter. Trying to keep it pure.
Okay, noted.
All right.
Anne says, "It was nice to meet you. Enjoy your matriarchal privilege. I'm gonna go now."
The highest form of privilege is being able to decide when bedtime is.
Yeah. So to end this day, Nobi and Anne are gonna go back to Mold, who's just lying in the middle of the village, waiting for vetting, whatever that means.
Oh wait, wait. I established vetting, so I feel like I should go back to that first. Yeah. Okay. I should be present for that.
Yeah, sure. Well, how are you imagining that? I was just gonna have Mold lay there until someone did something. It could have been days.
Yeah, that's partly at this point my conscious plan. I'm like,
Mold, an update. The vetting is ongoing, but also we have been finding out what people want around the village.
That was the plan.
Some of the things will be hard to achieve, or even contradictory.
You don't need to worry about that. I'll figure it all out as soon as I'm vetted.
Okay, then. Vetting is ongoing.
Okay, I'll be here.
Will you need to know what I want?
Nobi said we didn't need to do it for the Moist Watch members. Once everyone in the village loves me, the Moist Watch will have to love me too, because you protect the members of the village.
You know, if you would just come and vibe, we would protect you as well.
I don't need protection.
Of course.
I have much more biomass than you.
That is true. Congratulations on all the biomass. I hope you figure out what everyone wants.
Thank you. I will.
and then Kat heads off to sleep.
Okay, so Kat goes home, and Nobi, Anne, and Mold hang out in the town square as snow continues to collect on Mold's prostrate form. And they talk about what happened today. They basically give a report of the villagers that have been visited and what they want. Mold listens intently. There are still 4 more villagers to look at, which we will get to soon. But there's still plenty of time before the rest of the Moist Watch gets back from Mount Grendel. Somewhere out there, as the sun sets, we know Oze, Basil, Slime, and Philippa are bunking down for the night, maybe after fighting some the hostile wildlife that the mountain has to offer. But as Anne wraps up the report about what the villagers you visited today want, Nobi chimes in and says,
One more thing. Cat is planning to kill you.
Oh, piss.
Mold receives this information without betraying any particular reaction, still lying there as the snow piles up on them. But after a moment to think about it, Mold says to Anne, "So tell me about these tulpas."